Your son is in emergency surgery. Diana arrived in 18 minutes, still wearing her gym clothes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, no makeup, pure panic in her eyes. Charles arrived 6 hours later wearing a fresh-pressed suit, smelling of cologne, with Camilla's distinctive rose-colored lipstick smudged on his collar. The hospital staff heard everything Diana said to him in that corridor. What they witnessed that day changed how they saw the royal marriage forever. March 15th, 1993, 2:47 p.m., Diana was at her private gym in Kensington Palace when Inspector James Wright knocked urgently. "Your Royal Highness, it's Ludgrove School. Emergency." Mrs. Gerald's voice was tight with panic. "Prince Harry has had a severe asthma attack during games. He's unconscious. The ambulance is taking him to St. Mary's Hospital. You need to come immediately." Unconscious. Harry, her 8-year-old son. Diana didn't change clothes. She ran to the car in her gray Nike gym outfit. St. Mary's now, and call Charles. Find him. His son is dying. Inspector Wright tried calling Charles's office, his secretary, his protection officer. No answer. No answer. No answer. They arrived at 3:05 p.m., 18 minutes after the call. Diana ran through the emergency entrance in gym clothes and trainers, hair wild, face pale with terror. "Prince Harry, where is he? I'm his mother." Dr. Sarah Mitchell met her outside pediatric emergency. Prince Harry had a severe asthma attack. His airways closed almost completely. By the time the ambulance arrived, he'd lost consciousness due to oxygen deprivation. His oxygen levels were dangerously low for several minutes. We're checking for potential brain injury. Is he alive? He's alive. We have him on oxygen and steroids, but we need to monitor carefully. I need to see him. Harry looked so small in that bed. Tubes delivering oxygen, IV line in his arm, monitors beeping steadily. Diana collapsed into the chair beside him and took his hand. "Harry, darling, Mummy's here. You're going to be fine. Mummy's right here." No response. His chest rose and fell mechanically. "Has anyone contacted Prince Charles?" Dr. Mitchell asked. "We've been trying," Inspector Wright said. "No response yet." Minutes crawled. Diana sat holding Harry's hand, stroking his hair, talking to him constantly. Nurses checked monitors, offered tea she couldn't drink. Still no word from Charles. At 4:15 p.m., Inspector Wright approached apologetically. "We reached Prince Charles's private secretary. He says the prince is in an important meeting and cannot be disturbed. They've passed along the message. He'll come when his schedule permits." When his schedule permits. Diana stared at Harry's unconscious face and felt something inside her shift. Not break. It had broken long ago. This was different. This was the final death of any illusion about her marriage. "Tell them," Diana said, her voice dangerously quiet, "that if Prince Charles doesn't come to this hospital, immediately I will hold a press conference in this corridor and tell every journalist in Britain exactly where he was and why his son dying wasn't important enough to interrupt his important meeting." Inspector Wright looked uncomfortable but nodded. "Yes, ma'am." The minutes crawled by. Diana never left Harry's side. Nurses came and went, checking monitors, adjusting equipment, offering Diana tea that she couldn't drink, tissues that she used constantly. Dr. Mitchell returned every 30 minutes with updates. His oxygen levels were improving, his breathing was stabilizing. These were good signs. By 6:30 p.m., 4 hours after arriving, Diana finally used the bathroom. She looked in the mirror, no makeup, hair in tangles, eyes red and swollen, still in gym clothes. She looked like any mother facing the worst day of her life. Not a princess, just a terrified mother. Dr. Mitchell returned with good news. His oxygen levels have stabilized. Brain scans show no obvious damage. These are very positive signs. We expect him to regain consciousness within the next few hours. At 9:20 p.m., 6 hours and 33 minutes after Diana received the phone call, Prince Charles walked into the pediatric ward. Diana heard his voice in the corridor first. Polished, practiced, thanking nurses, apologizing for lateness, explaining he'd come as soon as he could. Then he walked into Harry's room. Charles looked immaculate. Fresh navy suit, perfectly knotted tie, hair groomed, shoes polished. He smelled of expensive cologne. What Diana noticed first was the smudge of rose-colored lipstick on his collar. Camilla's signature color. Charles glanced at Harry, then at Diana. "How is he?" 6.5 hours. Their son nearly died. And that was his greeting. He's alive, Diana said flatly. No thanks to you. Diana, I came as soon as I could. 6.5 hours. Our son was rushed to hospital unconscious, possibly brain damaged, and you came 6.5 hours later. I was in an important meeting. Where? Diana stepped toward him. Inspector Wright called your office, your secretary, your protection officer. Nobody could reach you. Nobody knew where you were. So I'll ask you one more time. Where were you? The corridor fell silent. Nurses stopped pretending not to listen. Charles glanced toward the door, uncomfortable with the audience. Perhaps we should discuss this privately. No, we'll discuss it right here. I've been holding Harry's hand for 6.5 hours, not knowing if he had brain damage, if he would wake up. Where were you? I told you I was in a meeting. You're lying. Diana gestured to his collar. You have lipstick on your collar, Charles. Rose-colored lipstick. Camilla's lipstick. Charles's face went white. His hand moved toward his collar, then dropped. While I was sitting beside our dying son, while I was begging him to wake up, where were you? Silence. I had commitments. You were with her. Our son was dying and you were with your mistress. Diana, this is not the time or place. When is the time? When would be good to discuss that you prioritized your affair over your son's life? Charles moved toward Harry's bed. Let me see my son. Diana stepped between him and the bed. Your son has been here for 6.5 hours, and you couldn't be bothered to come. You don't get to walk in now and play concerned father. He's my son, too. Then act like it. Act like a father. Act like you care about something other than yourself and that woman. You're being hysterical? Our son nearly died, and I'm hysterical because you couldn't leave your mistress's bed long enough to be here? I won't stand here and be attacked. Then leave. Go back to Camilla. That's where you'd rather be anyway. Mummy? The small voice from the bed made them freeze. Diana whirled around. Harry's eyes were open, confused, frightened, but open and aware. Diana was beside him instantly. Harry, darling, you're awake. Oh, thank God. How do you feel? Scared. Why are you and Daddy shouting? Diana's heart broke. We're not shouting, darling. We're just worried about you. Charles moved closer. Hello, Harry. How are you feeling? Harry looked at his father with an expression too wise for 8 years old. When did you get here, Daddy? Charles hesitated. Just now, son. I came as soon as I heard. Harry's eyes moved to Diana. She gave the smallest shake of her head. Not now. Dr. Mitchell appeared and examined Harry. Everything looks excellent. Prince Harry, you're going to be fine. We'll keep you overnight for observation. Harry nodded sleepily. Can Mummy stay? Of course. Harry's eyes moved to Charles. Are you staying too, Daddy? Charles glanced at his watch. I have some things I need to attend to, but I'll visit tomorrow. He has commitments, Diana cut in, voice dripping with acid. Harry's face fell. Even at 8, he understood. It's okay, Daddy. Mummy will stay. I'll be back tomorrow. Rest well, Harry. Diana's voice stopped him at the door. Charles, take off that jacket before anyone else sees it. Your mistress's lipstick is still on the collar. Charles walked out without turning around. After he left, Harry whispered, Mummy, is Daddy angry at me? No, sweetheart. Daddy's not angry at you. He has a lot going on that has nothing to do with you. Then why didn't he come sooner? You came really fast. The nurses said you ran through the hospital. Diana squeezed his hand. Because I love you more than anything in the world, Harry. You and William are the most important things in my life. More important than being a princess? So much more important. Being your mummy is the only job that really matters. Harry smiled sleepily. Daddy's different, isn't he? Your daddy loves you. He just shows it differently. He shows it by not coming when I'm dying? Harry's eyes opened. I heard the nurses. They said I nearly died. They said my brain might have been hurt. Where was Daddy when I was dying, Mummy? Diana couldn't lie. He was somewhere else, darling. Somewhere he thought was important. More important than me dying? No, sweetheart. Nothing is more important than you. Your daddy just made a mistake. A really big mistake. Harry nodded slowly. Because of Camilla. Diana's heart stopped. What do you know about Camilla? I hear things, at school. Other kids talk. They say Daddy loves her more than he loves you. Is that why he didn't come? Because he was with her? Diana wanted to protect him. But Harry deserved honesty. Yes. He was with her? Harry was quiet. I'm sorry, Mummy. I'm sorry Daddy hurt you. That he wasn't here when you were scared about me. Diana climbed onto the bed beside Harry and held him. You are the most wonderful boy in the world. None of this is your fault. The next morning, William arrived at 7:30 a.m. He burst into the room and went straight to Harry. You idiot. You scared the life out of me. Harry grinned weakly. Sorry. Where's Dad? William asked. He came last night, around 9:00, Harry said. William did the math immediately. The school called at 3 os. Mum got here at 3:20. Dad got here at 9:00. It's fine, Harry said. Mum was here. But William was looking at Diana, and she saw that he knew. He knew exactly what his father's 6-hour delay meant. When Charles arrived at 8 a.m., perfectly groomed, carrying flowers and a teddy bear, with gift shop tags attached, William's expression was devastating. Hello, boys, Charles said with forced cheer. Did we give you quite a scare? William asked flatly. When exactly were you scared, Father? Last night when you arrived 6 hours late? Or this morning when you bought those flowers from the hospital gift shop? William, that's enough. Mum was scared. She ran through this hospital in her gym clothes because she dropped everything the second she got the call. She held Harry's hand for 6.5 hours while he was unconscious. That's what scared looks like, Father. I was in a meeting. You were with Camilla. William said it simply. Everyone at school talks about it. Everyone knows. It's true, isn't it, Mum? William looked at her. He was with her when Harry was dying. That's why he didn't come. Because she's more important than we are. Charles looked desperately uncomfortable. This is not an appropriate conversation. When would be appropriate? When would be good to discuss that you couldn't be bothered to come when my brother almost died? William stood beside Diana. Harry almost died yesterday. Mum was here. You weren't. That's all any of us needs to know. It's okay, Wills, Harry said softly. It's not okay. He should have been here. That's what parents do. Diana finally spoke. I think you should leave, Charles. Harry needs rest. He's my son, too. Then act like his father. Not when it's convenient, but always. Especially when it matters most. You failed that test yesterday. Charles set down the flowers. I'll return later when emotions aren't so high. Don't bother, William said coldly. We don't need you to perform for us. After Charles left, William said, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. You said exactly what needed to be said, Diana replied. You stood up for your brother. The nurses heard everything. Good. Let them hear. Let everyone hear. Diana gathered both boys close. I'm done pretending everything is fine. Your father made his choices. You both have every right to be angry. I'm not angry, Harry said. I'm just sad. I wanted him to care enough to come. But we have you, William said. And that's actually enough, Mum. Over the next days, word spread. The hospital staff shared what they'd witnessed. Journalists called the palace. Charles's office issued a statement about being deeply concerned and grateful for excellent NHS care. The statement didn't mention his 6-hour delay. Didn't mention where he'd been. Didn't mention Camilla's lipstick or the confrontation dozens witnessed. But the hospital staff knew the truth. Karen Winters, a nurse, told Diana, Several of us have been approached by tabloids offering money for our stories. We've all refused. What we witnessed was private family pain. We're not selling your suffering. But I won't lie if asked direct questions. We won't sell stories, but we won't lie to protect people who don't deserve protection. The story broke 3 days later in several newspapers. Diana's hospital vigil, Princess spent 6 hours at son's bedside while Charles was absent. Diana gave no interviews. She didn't need to. The truth spoke for itself. 3 weeks later, Diana and Charles had a meeting with lawyers. This marriage is over, Diana said. After what happened at the hospital, I'm done pretending. Perhaps we should discuss. There's nothing to discuss. You made your choice clear. Camilla is more important than your children. But I won't participate in the charade anymore. The Queen won't approve a divorce? Then we'll separate. Legally, formally, publicly. I will not raise my sons where their father's mistress is more important than their well-being. The formal separation was announced 6 weeks later. Diana would have the boys most of the time. William and Harry were relieved to not witness the Cold War anymore. They knew they were better off with their mother. Years later, adult Harry said, "The day I almost died taught me that love isn't what people say. It's what they do. It's who shows up when things are hard. My mum was there in 18 minutes and never left. My father took 6 hours, and when he arrived, he'd clearly come from somewhere that mattered more. My mother showed up. Always. That's the kind of parent I'm determined to be." The hospital incident became part of the larger narrative about who Diana really was versus who Charles really was. She wasn't just the glamorous princess. She was a woman doing her absolute best despite a husband who had abandoned them. For Diana, the incident crystallized something. The marriage was truly over, and pretending otherwise was hurting her children more than truth ever could. She chose her sons. She chose honesty. She chose her well-being over a dead marriage. Karen Winters said it best years later. "We saw a lot of important people come through that hospital, but I never saw anyone like Princess Diana that night. She was raw, honest, devastated, furious, protective, completely human in a way that made her more royal than any title ever could. When everything was falling apart, Diana chose love. She chose her son. That's the legacy we remember."